Hey guys, what's going on? It's Colin here again after a long break from doing fan videos. That is simply because I have not had a lot of time to shoot videos recently, and all the engine videos you guys have been seeing are from my stockpile. I'll shoot a lot of videos and edit them all up and keep them in a folder on my computer just in case I run out, or so that they're ready to post without me having to do a lot of work. And that folder actually filled up with more engine videos than fan videos, so haven't been shooting a whole lot of them because I haven't had time, and that's kind of how it goes sometimes. So sorry about the long gap since the last one, but I have a rare opportunity today where I don't have a lot of homework after school, so I'm going to shoot a quick fan video for you guys. Hopefully get this up today, and hopefully that will buy me some time until the next week where I can get a little more video up. So sorry that they've been a little inconsistent, but that's just kind of been how it is recently. I've been super busy, of course. But anyways, getting back to this fan. This, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I have some theories. I believe that this is a 1940s or 50s Samson, I think it's Samson branded fan. These came originally like this, and they had like leather blades, and I guess the idea was that the leather wouldn't hurt you that much if you stuck your finger into it by accident. This one was actually given to my dad by one of his patients who wanted it to go to me, because I guess he mentioned I liked antique fans. I believe this one's been somewhat redone at some point. I think that these blades are not original. It may have even been painted, I'm not entirely sure, but definitely had some work done to it at some point. I've done some work to it, but the reason I wasn't originally going to shoot a video on this for a little while is because it needs some work. This thing needs thrust washers like you wouldn't believe, and it also, I need to do a little welding. The way that this is built, sorry, the camera's not going to move in this video because it's dead. It's got to stay on the tripod here. But the way that this is built is that this is one piece here, this motor housing. And then these two tabs, they actually are, they're two tabs, and they kind of come up like this. And they go through holes in the motor housing, and they sit there. Well, the problem is that I think either the tabs have been bent this way a little bit, or they just were originally supposed to be like glued in or welded in or something. I haven't had this fan apart in many years, because I kind of got frustrated with it, and I left it on my shelf for a long time. But now that I've busted it out, I want to do a little work on it. You can see definitely needs thrust washers, but what I was getting at is that means that this whole motor housing is loose on the base. And you'll see when I go to run it, because these blades have been redone, I don't think they're very well balanced at all. And this fan vibrates a lot, which it's always done. But with that being loose, this whole thing is like vibrating like crazy. It makes all sorts of noise, and it just doesn't sound very healthy at all. So it's kind of been a showpiece for a while, but now that I've busted it out to make this video, I think I want to actually do some work to it. I think I'm going to try and balance these blades a little better. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm either going to take these tabs and crimp them down a little better, or more than likely I'll just take take my welder and I'll put a little tack weld on it to hold it in place. This did originally have a little rotary switch here, but I took this apart because this motor always got ridiculously hot. I drilled some holes in the back, which I kind of regret doing, to be completely honest, but I got this fan when I was really young, so I didn't really know any better. I believe that these three were here already. I don't think that was me, but these four were me. I tried to get them somewhat symmetrical, but obviously, being a young kid, I did not do a very good job. But yeah, that's the deal with that. What I want to do is I want to take this fan, as I mentioned, I want to try and balance the blades a little better. I want to tack weld that in place, so hopefully it doesn't rattle so much. Pull the motor apart, give it a little oil, put some thrust washers in it, and I want to add a new switch because I kind of liked having the switch there. The cord, I think, is original. It's definitely very old, and you can see there's actually remnants of black paint on it, so I think this may have been repainted because I don't believe I put this cord on. I believe it had this cord. I think I put the plug on, but I could be wrong, honestly. It's been a really long time. But Jordan, if you're watching, this cord is very similar to the one that you have on that little Dominion. This is the cord I was talking about, to give you an idea. It's a very, very flexible, like, rubberized cord. The problem is it's starting to kind of crack, as you may or may not be able to see. It's still fully usable. There's no places where the insulation's really deteriorated, but it's starting to crack up a bit, which, I don't know. It's just a kind of unique cord. I don't think I've ever had a cord besides this one that's this flexible. Like, it's so easy to bend it. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I think it's a rubberized cord of sorts, but I think it's probably original. If not, it's very old. But there you go, Jordan, if you're watching. It's got an old Leviton plug on it. At least it seems kind of old. It is polarized though, so maybe it's not that old. Looks like something you'd buy at a hardware store. Like I said, I don't remember whether I was the one that put that on or not. But it's definitely got an interesting design. I like the shape of the base. I really like the fan as a whole. I just need to do some more mechanical work to it. You can even see by looking at it, this blade's way bigger, bigger than the rest. It looks like these were cut out with scissors almost, which may have been. But yeah, I like the shape of this I think it's cast iron base. There's the bottom of it. There's really no markings on it anywhere. Just a little 2-pole, shaded pole motor in there. Held in with this one screw at the back actually. And it's kind of interesting. You take this Phillips head screw out and the blades come off and there's this like cone shaped piece of metal in there. It's got a bunch of fins and I think that's what helps cool the motor a bit. But it's actually got a kind of cool startup sound if you take the blades off. The blades make it rattle and make a lot of noise, but if you take the blades off, which I might do for you guys, I do remember it having a kind of cool startup sound. But I think what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I think I'm going to grab something to put this on. Maybe like, I'm in my kitchen, so maybe grab an oven mitt. You want to put this on here so it doesn't make quite so much noise. And we'll go ahead and plug it in. It actually does work really well. It moves a lot of air. But yeah, you'll see what I mean about noise in a second. So here we go. At full speed now. You can see what I mean about noise though. Well, if I hold this where it's not rattling on the base, it doesn't really make that much noise. And you'll see here, it really does throw a really good amount of air, especially for its size. That's for darn sure. I would say that these blades would probably still hurt a decent amount if you stuck your finger in it, especially from the back. Because with any fan, if you stick it in from the front, the blades are curved, so you'll hit your finger and they'll hit your finger, but they'll push it away. If you hit the back, you're hitting the lead edge of the blade, and that would probably hurt quite a bit with how fast this thing spins. But it moves a really good amount of air. I don't think I have anything to really demonstrate it for you though, besides the just pointing it at the camera. But there you go. If I hold it, it's actually pretty darn quiet. Still moving in and out a decent amount though, as you can probably see. But yeah, definitely needs some work, that's for sure. Go ahead and do the spin down here. It kind of sounds like bearings, but I don't think it is, because it's got a really good spin down. I think it's the combination of this motor housing and motor being loose and vibrating, and also how it needs thrust washers. But there you go. That's the little, I'm guessing 50s probably, maybe 40s, Samson fan. Again, I believe it's a Samson. If any of you guys know any info about this thing, please leave it in the comments below. I'd appreciate that. But anyways, I think I'm going to go grab a Phillips head screwdriver and see if this thing has the startup sound that I remember it having. And we'll take the blade off. Actually, you know what? There's one right here. How convenient. I'm going to do this video in one cut. And no, I don't usually leave Phillips head screwdrivers around in my kitchen. It's just that we were doing something the other day. So it's in here. There you go. You can see the inside design there. The way that they did this, actually, you know, I'm looking at this now. This is kind of interesting. So this is leather, right? The original stuff I think would have been leather. The way they held these in was by taking that, putting it through, and then gluing another piece of leather to it. But that lighter brown leather in there, that almost looks like the original colored blades I've seen on these fans. They were like a brownish color. But there you go. Yeah, it's got these holes in here too for cooling, I'm assuming. But here's that metal, thing that it mounts to. It's actually got some decent mass to it. But I think with these spinning around like that, and the insides of these blades spinning around in that pattern, I think that helps pull some air through the motor. But there you go, you can see the motor in there. But let's see. Let's see if this thing actually has the startup sound I remember it having. Bring it up close to the mic. Yeah, it kind of does. It has that kind of winding up sound. Gets up to speed real quick without the blade on it though. But here, I'll do that one more time for you guys. But with that just running like that, even so, still vibrating a decent amount. If I hold that though, it runs pretty smooth. And I actually feel quite a decent breeze coming out of that. There you go. Do another spin down, I guess. This thing definitely needs some work. But it does make a cool little showpiece. It sits, most of the time it sits on a shelf in my room and it looks pretty. And I kind of like the design of it, as I said. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for this one. I'm going to try and get to a little more fan content a little more regularly, if possible, going forward. But I cannot make any promises because my schedule is nuts and it's always changing. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what you see, hit the little like and subscribe buttons. By all means, leave a comment if you have one, especially if you have any info on this fan. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.